Hey guys, so in this review I'm going to cover a jacket by Gymshark versus a jacket by SuperX. I've only worn the jacket by SuperX twice so far and not for all that long, but nevertheless, I will do my best to go over the differences between them, and considering they are sold at such different price points, I'll try to cover by the end of the video whether or not SuperX is worth the extra money over the Gymshark jacket, because I think it was about twice the price, if I remember how expensive the Gymshark one was accurately. So let's get into it. Starting with the size and fit of the jackets, the Gymshark one has a slightly more snug fit. I don't remember if they labeled it as slim fit or regular fit or anything like that. I don't even know if they were doing that back when I bought the jacket, but for the Super X one, it's labeled as performance fit, I believe. And it's snug enough. It doesn't look like it's undersized or anything like that. And for perspective, both of them are a size large, and I'm 6 feet tall, about 165 pounds. So that should give you some frame of reference for how they fit. But the fit I like slightly more on the Gymshark one, but I like the tapered look a little bit more, and not everybody does. So if you like things that are slightly looser fitting, then you'll probably like the fit of the Super X one a bit more. But overall, for the price difference, there's almost no difference to be seen. That all of that difference lies in other aspects of the two jackets. Next up, we have the fabrics on the two different jackets and their respective textures. The Super X one uses a blend of mesh on certain parts of the jacket and a softer material on the other parts. The soft material is roughly comparable to the soft material on the Gymshark jacket, although you can tell just by feeling it that it's a higher quality fabric. Whether or not it's worth twice the price is, I guess, up to the user. I think that more of the value goes into other things in the jacket than just the fabric it's using. The feel of the Gymshark one is really solid for being only like $60, I think it was. But there is definitely a notable quality difference between the two, but what do you expect when one is twice the price of the other? Now let's talk about the look of them. Starting with Super X, with this one, they're aiming to convey Batman, which they did a great job with. They got the licensing from DC Comics, and overall, it's applied incredibly well all over the jacket. The color scheme is there, even on the aglets. I think these things are called the tips of the pieces of thread that tighten up the hood. The stitching lines everywhere, that it all conveys Batman very well. And overall, for being a gym jacket, it doesn't look too on the nose for those who are worried about looking like a huge nerd out in public. But the Batman stuff is there, and it's relatively minimal. The logo for this bat is bigger than the logo they have on a lot of their other jackets, like the one for Superman, for example. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, just depending on your perspective. I personally liked that a lot. But overall, the look of it is one of the big sellers, I think, for how much the jacket itself costs, on top of the fact that it's officially licensed by DC. This particular Gymshark jacket, I think, looks great. The color scheme between the gray and the blue blends very nicely. And they have a lot of different jacket combinations, jacket offerings, I should say. And I have two others by Gymshark, but they're all one solid color, and they still look very nice. They look more like conventional track jackets than this one does. I think this one blends with streetwear a lot more, but for the price point, I think this is one of the best that you can get as far as the look goes, at least. For other things, maybe not so much. But something to keep in mind with the look of both of them, I'm going to do as best I can with this video to show off what they each look like in halfway decent lighting. But when it comes to the look, that is heavily, heavily subjective. Now I want to talk about something that isn't as big of a concern for me because I live where it's almost always warm, but it's the warmth of each of the jackets. They're both very much athletic jackets, or at least athleisure. They're thinner, they're meant, as the name implies, for exercising and moving around, and they'll keep you warm enough to where your skin at least won't be straight up touched by super cold air, so they'll give you a little bit of coverage there. But for people who are living in the north, especially during winter months, these probably won't be heavy enough for you. I don't know what people are used to when it comes to working out when it's winter and places that get extremely cold, but these would not keep you all that warm. If you're working inside, you might be all right, but I don't know. If any of you live up north when it gets extremely cold, you could maybe let us know in the comments if you've ever worn a jacket that's as thin as these two. I'll try to show that off on the camera. Next, I'm going to touch on the durability of them. I've only had the SuperX jacket for a couple weeks as of recording this video, so I can't really speak to the durability of it very well. But for the Gymshark jacket, I've had it for I think like 2 years now, something around there. And it's held up fine. I haven't worn it a ton in those 2 years, but I've worn it enough, especially in the last few months. And it looks pretty much as good as day one as far as I can see, and there's no holes, no tears, nothing like that. So $60 went far. And now for the thing that I keep touching on because I think it's a big point for a lot of people, including myself. That's the value and the price point, which are kind of intertwined. The value of them, $60 versus $130, is one really worth more than double the other? I guess that depends on how much a fan you are of whatever character you're buying the product after, in this case, Batman, and how much you like the look of them to go along with that. I think that if you're only going to get like a couple of these and you only need a couple of jackets or whatever clothing article you're buying in the first place anyway, then what you're getting for that extra money, besides just the look of it and the character that is being shown, is quality. And the Gymshark one is high enough quality to where the money is justified, but there's something to be said for the place that SuperX has in the market, especially when it comes to athletic clothes. There's not many that are actually high quality on the market. In fact, I don't know if there's any others at all that are officially licensed by any of the brands that SuperX collaborates with, whether it be Marvel, DC, Assassin's Creed, you name it. They've done a lot of collaborations and they're planning to do more as far as I know. But as far as it being twice the price, like I keep saying, I personally think that it's worth it. And I only say that because there's other brands that have products that feel like they're of similar quality on the market, mainly thinking of Lululemon. Their fabric feels roughly the same as the primary fabric used on the jacket that I have from SuperX. And the fact that the SuperX jacket has the branding on top of that just makes it worth it a little bit more. So whether or not that value is worth it to you entirely depends on how much you personally value the character on the jacket or shirt or pants, whatever you're getting, and whether or not you think that the extra softness and perhaps the extra durability on the SuperX product is worth the extra money to you. One last thing I would like to add regarding the SuperX products is they used to sell some products that were not licensed by the brands that they were making them after. They called them things along the lines of the last name of the character. Like they had one, just for example, for Venom that was called Brock, I'm pretty sure. And they didn't have any of the actual character logos on them. It was mostly just color scheme type things and patterns for them if it was applicable to the character suits. But I bring this up because if any of you have tried those products from SuperX in the past, they say that their new manufacturing process and maybe even the materials that they use is different now and supposedly much better. So I wouldn't base their new officially licensed products on what you experienced with their older lines. I really like this jacket that I got, the Batman jacket, and it's a little hard to tell how it's going to perform when the weather actually starts to get colder, because as of filming this, it is May in Florida, so it's not exactly jacket weather. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, especially between the look of the two of them, because that's the only thing that you can really tell from watching this video. And if you guys have any questions about them, about either specific product, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'll do the best that I can to get back with you and let you know what you need to know. So thank you for watching, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, especially comparing one of the two products shown in this video to some other product, even if it's by a different brand, then let me know and I will definitely consider it.